This is probably the most complete buying guide of ORMAIE fragrances you found on the internet. Sharing a bit background about ORMAIE. So ORMAIE is a perfume brand from Paris, and it's a family-owned fragrance house that was created by mother and son duo. I feel like as a brand, their storytelling approach revolves around the founder. When I was scrolling through their website and when I learned about the inspiration behind each scent, I noticed that their storytelling angle is more relatable and more human. Everything was charged with so much emotions and memories. Somehow I can deeply connect and relate to the story of each scent. For example, like the first scent here, this is Papier Carbone. In English, Papier Carbone translates to carbon paper. And this is a scent that's created out of childhood memory, the paper at school. I even read somewhere that the founder of ORMAIE goes to the same school as their parents, so it feels like the Papier Carbone is created because we are somehow a carbon copy of our parents. Maybe as simple as where we go to school, how we talk, and how we behave in public. I feel like my parents influenced me a lot as a person. Papier Carbone as a scent smells like a quiet revelation. This is a true skin scent that smells modern, minimalist, and gender neutral. When I first smell this, I feel like there's something that's oddly nostalgic about this scent. It reminds me of the scent of sharpening a pencil, the crisp texture of fresh notebook paper, and something that's woody and sweet. Maybe this is me when writing something out of my kindergarten class while holding a vanilla cookie on my hand. I actually found this scent to be very unique. There's nothing in my collection that smells remotely similar to Papier Carbone. Up next, this is Yvonne, that was named after founder's grandmother, and this scent opens up with a burst of juicy blackcurrant, a bright bergamot, followed by a velvety rose that adds this soft and romantic nuance to the perfume. I found the dry down of this scent is quite earthy, is mossy, maybe coming from the combination of patchouli and labdanum, which eventually gives structure and balance to the scent. And as for Yvonne Extrait de Parfum, it's more fruity and sweeter and somehow way stronger. The Extrait de Parfum version also reminds me of an old Rihanna perfume, but I can't pinpoint which one. It's more opulent, more juicy, and definitely stronger. Moving on to the next one, this is Toï Toï Toï, and it's a German expression to the dancer to wish them good luck before going on to perform. So the whole narrative about Toï 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 is that it is a reminiscent of the stage, like an opera, which is why the brand chose a black rectangle like a stage frame. It's a window onto the performance where the show is about to begin, with notes of incense, black pepper, cedar, sandalwood, patchouli, vetiver, vanilla, and cypriol. Toï 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 immediately brings my mind to something that's similar to Chanel Coromandel, that same vanillic patchouli signature, but here everything is dialed down to a whisper. Must admit that this scent overall doesn't remind me of an opera. It's not grande. I actually think this kinda smell like an old aged leather covered book. Maybe if you're familiar with the scent of Replica Whispers in the Library, but you tone down the vanilla and make it more refined, giving more depth to the composition by adding some mentholated patchouli signature. I hope this whole narrative makes sense. As for Toï 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 Extrait, I feel like the extrait is much warmer, more ambery, and more fruity coming from the osmanthus. Personally, I prefer the Eau de Parfum a lot more, as I think the Toï 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 Extrait is too heavy for my likings. Step, this is Le Passant, that means passing by. When creating Le Passant, the ORMAIE founder was looking for a signature scent that remembers him of his father, who usually wore a beautiful lavender scent. And Le Passant to me is a soft contemplative ode to lavender. It opens up a little sharp, but then it melts into something that's more gentle, nostalgic, and quietly comforting. The lavender and lavandin takes the center stage, giving it a sweet crystalline edge to this perfume. But I think what draws me into Le Passant is that it dries down into a dusty, slightly vanillic lavender. Even though it was marketed as masculine, I find it to be beautifully unisex. 1812, or reads as 18th of December, reminds me of a cherry almond soap, but in the most luxurious and luminous way. It's not the typical cherry fragrance that smells too boozy. I find it to smell very elegant. There's a powdery rose tinted cosmetic that mingles in the background with traces of almond. That overall, my kid said that it smells like clay, and honestly, I kinda get it, but this one smells like a bougie, the most luxurious clay that has ever existed. With dominant notes of cherry, almond, rose, and vanilla, this goes straight to my wish list. Moving on to the next one, this is Le Brumes. This is a scent that I find quite challenging, and it is definitely not for me. I just really don't get the appeal about this fragrance because it opens up with a blast, fizzy, punchy, and almost electric orange soda scent. It's a unique take on citrus, but honestly, it is not my vibe. 28 Degree is a beautiful, refined, but not a groundbreaking orange blossom scent. The whole story behind 28 Degree is that the scent is inspired by a summer walk, like white flowers, monoi, shea butter, like a heat wave, and the scent of holidays at an ideal temperature, 28 degrees. The jasmine orange flower and vanilla combination in this scent smells like a warm breeze, but I find it to be fresh and not too creamy. It's still sweet and warm. It's pleasant. Definitely not a scent that you need to own, but since I'm a lover of orange blossom and neroli, I think I'm going to get this sooner or later. Next up, this is Tableau Parisien. This perfume is created as an homage to the Paris Art of Deco era. The inspiration behind this scent is the first Parisian moments experienced by the founder of ORMAIE. I would say this is one of the best, if not the best, collection from the brand. First of all, it is such a standout from both construction and presence because this scent has so much depth around it. The tuberose takes the lead but stays smooth and elegant, never overpowering. But then there's a sexy and confident character here, which I think coming mainly from the tobacco note that somehow adds this cozy, tea-like depth that gives it a real character. By no means this is not a tea scent, but it just reminds me of tea-like scents. Dry Down is a spiced vanilla base that will linger to your skin almost the entire day. This is one of the most strongest perfume from ORMAIE. Last one, this is Bleue. This one is also not for me. The opening hits a boozy blast of rum that smells quite sharp and fleeting before it settles into a powdery blend of chocolate and vanilla and something like an earthy patchouli base. I think this review is highly personal because I am not a fan of boozy scent in general. The dry down is overall okay, but there's something in the opening that's not for me. That's it. Let me know which ORMAIE is for you. Bye!